Okay, let's unravel this. It's such a common problem, isn't it? Trying to manage, well, everything life throws at you, while also needing to commit to something as big as personal recovery. It feels like, you often have to hit pause on your whole life just to get the help you need. But maybe there's another way. What if treatment could actually, like, bend around your life?
That's exactly the idea we're jumping into today, a really innovative one, I think. We're taking a deep dive into something called Super Flex IOP from New Life Recovery Centers down in San Jose. And this model, it really tries to tackle that exact problem. How do you fit meaningful recovery into a packed modern schedule without, stopping everything else?
Right. So our mission today is really to explore how this program actually delivers on that promise of outpatient treatment that fits your life.
Yeah.
We'll dig into the source material, Superflex IOP, recovery on your schedule, and pull out the key insights. I think we might uncover some pretty surprising things about just how flexible treatment can actually be. So we get it. Life is busy. That's the starting point, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you pursue recovery when you're juggling work or family stuff, maybe school? It feels like a massive hurdle.
It absolutely is. And, traditional intensive outpatient programs, the IOPs people might be familiar with, they often have these pretty rigid schedules. They just might not work for everyone. New Life Recovery Centers, they really start from this core belief. Recovery isn't one size fits all, so why should treatment schedules be? They recognize that inflexibility itself can be a huge barrier, stopping people from even starting or, sticking with it.
And that's exactly where this Superflex IOP comes in, right? Their solution in San Jose. You mentioned they announced something called IOP Flex Scheduling back in June 2025. So this Superflex sounds like the next evolution, even more options.
Precisely. They've built on that foundation. So the core structure is still there. It's an IOP, so you attend 3 times a week for 3-hour sessions each time. That clinical structure is important, but the revolution is in the scheduling. They call it a structured yet flexible schedule. The key ideas are total flexibility and being able to mix and match sessions. It's not just about making it convenient, though. It's fundamentally about lowering those barriers that keep people out of care.
Okay, mix and match. How does that actually play out? Like, what are the options?
Yeah, so they've basically divided the day into 3 distinct tracks, 3-hour blocks. There's a morning track running 9 a.m. to 12 noon.
Okay,
Then an afternoon track that's 12:30 p.m. 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m.
got it.
And finally, an evening track, which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
So morning, afternoon, evening. 3 solid choices.
Exactly. And here's the mix and match part. You are absolutely not locked into just one of those tracks for your whole time in the program. So maybe Monday morning works best for you one week, but Wednesday you have something midday, so you attend the evening session. Then Friday, maybe the afternoon slot is perfect, you see. It gives the client the control to fit treatment into their week by week, without sacrificing the quality or the intensity of the care they're receiving. It's empowering.
That really clarifies who this is aimed at. The source says it's ideal for working adults, students, and caregivers.
Mhm.
And you can immediately see why, can't you? Thinking about those specific pressures, fixed schedules just don't work for everyone.
Absolutely. Think about it. A parent needing to do the school run right, or a student who has a class they simply cannot miss, or someone working shifts or meeting client demands. A traditional fixed IOP schedule might force them into an impossible choice: miss work or school, or miss vital treatment. Superflex avoids that. The morning track is great for, early birds or people who like to get their therapeutic work done first thing.
Mm.
The afternoon track might be perfect for, say, stay-at-home parents once kids are settled, or maybe someone with part-time work. And that evening track, that's really designed with full-time working professionals, students with daytime classes, or caregivers in mind, lets them engage after their main commitments are done. It's really about redesigning the logistics around the person.
It brings it back to that core message, doesn't it? Adapts to your life, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Which realistically makes it so much easier to actually stay committed. Life happens, schedules change, and this model seems to account for that, making long-term progress feel more achievable.
Okay, so the flexibility is clear, but you mentioned quality of care isn't compromised. That's crucial. How do things like, say, group therapy work if people are mixing and matching sessions? Does it feel disjointed, or have they figured out how to maintain that cohesion? That's a really important question. And they emphasize that no matter which slots you attend, you get the same high-quality care, the same therapeutic services, the same level of group support. The model includes several key components. First, there's group therapy and peer support. These sessions focus on things like accountability, self-awareness, learning from each other. Common topics are, relapse prevention, emotional regulation, communication skills, even family dynamics. The groups foster community even with changing faces week to week.
Okay, so the core topics are consistently covered.
Yes. And then there's individual counseling. That's your one-on-one time with a licensed therapist to really dig into underlying issues, develop personal coping strategies, set goals. That relationship provides continuity, relapse prevention, and those essential coping skills. They're woven into all the sessions, so you're constantly reinforcing those tools. And importantly, they offer medication-assisted treatment ACT if it's medically appropriate. That's always under close medical supervision, helping manage cravings or withdrawal. Plus, they have strong dual diagnosis capabilities. That means they can treat co-occurring mental health conditions like anxiety or depression right alongside the substance use disorder.
Right, treating the whole person.
Exactly. And finally, they incorporate life skills and mindfulness training, so practical stuff, job readiness, maybe, but also stress reduction techniques, self-care strategies, tools for building that sustainable, sober life.
So it really paints a picture of recovery as more than just, not using substances. It's actively building a life that works, that feels resilient, and this program integrates that building process right into your existing life. It's about setting you up to thrive. Now, stepping back a bit from just the Super Flex program, New Life Recovery Centers itself, they're not new to this, are they? The source mentions 21 years of experience in San Jose. That's a long track record. They must have built quite a reputation for clinical excellence and compassionate care.
They certainly have. And looking at the bigger picture, they offer what's called a full continuum of care. That's really important. It means they provide support across different levels of intensity. It starts potentially with medically supervised detox, then maybe residential treatment for higher needs. Then you have outpatient options like the IOP we're discussing, but also PHP partial hospitalization programs, which are a step up in intensity from IOP, but still outparent.
Okay.
And it extends to aftercare planning and even alumni services to keep people connected long term. They really see the Super Flex IOP as a vital link, a bridge. It helps people build confidence, practice those healthy habits, use their new skills in the real world, all while staying connected to support. It's geared towards lasting recovery.
And it sounds very personalized, too, not just a cookie-cutter approach. The idea of an interdisciplinary team working with each person, that sounds key. Tailoring the plan to individual goals and needs.
Absolutely. That customization is a major factor. When you look at what sets them apart, it's several things coming together. Yes, the flexible scheduling is huge, but it's also the compassionate, experienced staff they have, the genuinely customizable treatment plans, their ability to handle M8 and dual diagnosis effectively, and creating a warm, welcoming environment. That sense of community is often crucial for recovery. They're right there in San Jose, serving Silicon Valley and the surrounding areas. And practically speaking, they work with most major insurance PPO plans, union coverage, EAPs, which are employee assistance programs. They even offer free insurance verification. No strings attached. You can just call them at 408-297-1182 to figure that out.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the core message really seems to be recovery is definitely possible. And now, maybe more accessible than ever because it's more flexible. The Super Flex IOP seems to make it genuinely easier to commit to getting better because it fits into your life. Instead of demanding you put life completely on hold, it flips the script.
It really does. And maybe a final thought to leave with you, the listener. If the actual path to getting well, to sustain healing, can truly adapt to the messy, complicated reality of your daily life, well, how might that shift your perspective on what's actually achievable? What becomes possible for long-term well-being when the system bends for you, instead of demanding you bend for it? Something to think about.